Shreveport Fire Chief Scott Wolverton here. Hey, Mr. Scott, welcome back to Kiel. Thanks for taking time for us today.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Chief, you went before the Public Safety Committee yesterday to present a proposal for a pay increase for not only firefighters but police officers as well. A couple of bullet points, what were the highlights of what you presented?
Well, first, when I started speaking, I tried to identify what the problem is, and we do have a lot of our public safety employees, both fire and police, that are leaving the city for more attractive positions, and not only for that, there's other reasons also, and I explained those reasons to the council members that were present yesterday. And we need a sustainable funding source to provide what needs to be provided. It's been talked about a lot over the past few years. In my budget summary letters, I've always mentioned a priority as increasing firefighter pay and paramedic pay because of the trends that have shown in Shreveport. Our workload, our run volumes increased, our EMS call volume has increased, and the demand for service has increased. And so yesterday I identified some funding options. The first one was some dedicating revenue. The fire department does create about between a net revenue of probably around 12 to 13 million a year in EMS revenue. We talked about a sales tax. That was a lot of talk about a very small 1/4 cent sales tax increase. Right now, Shreveport's, I believe, at 9.05. So you're talking about 1/4 of 1 cent percent increase that would create a very viable, sustaining funding source that could not only provide raises for fire and police, but for all city employees, which, and we include all city employees because we all work together to serve our citizens. We're all part of the machine that the city has and city departments serving our citizens every day. So I've always felt like we complement each other. We work together to provide those services for our citizens, and we want to all provide that high level of service regardless of what city department you're in.
Chief,
we talked about the...
go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
We talked about the possibility of a public safety fee. Several municipalities utilize a public safety fee to have a sustainable source for providing some of the needs that we have for the city. So that was an option that was talked about.
How much would that be, and would that be on a water bill?
It would be on the water bill, and it would. It just depends on what the voters would want that to be. I think I agree with the council members that if we do this, we ask the voters. What's a good target number? Now I can tell you yesterday I did a pretty good comparison from our department here in Shreveport to Bossier City's department. And, there is a significant pay disparity there. Although we're probably 3 times their size in city, and we make about 4 times the number of calls that they make, our firefighters are paid about $5,200 less a year than what they are in Bossier City.
Wow.
And Chief, pardon me just a second, Chief. You had talked about a sustainable source of funding. Property taxes, those go up and down. Sales taxes, they go up and down. For something that would be a fixed amount that that you could count on, I would think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you would be more in favor of a public safety fee. Am I wrong there? What do you think?
I think a public safety fee is something that, again, I think the voters need to vote on. Because I guess the win for the public safety fee is no citizen of Shreveport would ever receive an EMS bill because they already would be paying for the service, on a monthly fee. So they would never receive an EMS bill. Now there's ordinance where we do bill because that's how we provide the service and continue the funding of it. So, like I said, there are other municipalities. There's In Bossier, they charge a rate for residential meters and a rate for commercial meters. And just it depends on where that number lands at would be the amount of revenue it would create based on the estimated 70,000 meters that we have in the city, and about 8 to 10,000 of those are commercial meters. I'll be honest with you, I spoke in detail about the increase, the quarter-cent sales tax. It's my belief that's a good viable option. I believe it's something we could put on the ballot in April. Have an opportunity for our council and our administration and our fire and police and our city employees relay that message to our citizens and explain what it would provide. And when you talk about sales tax, I used the example yesterday. We're sitting at a population right at about 185,000 now in Shreveport. But just today, right now, our population probably increased upwards of, between 200 and 225,000 just by the people coming to work here today inside the city in the next 8 to 12 hours. Well, while they're here, they're going to spend money. They're going to go to lunch today and spend money at restaurants. They're going to stop by the Walmart or the Home Depot or the Lowe's or the convenience store to buy something, and that's sales tax. The I-20 corridor, the I-49 corridor, all of those, people traveling through, and they're spending money. They're buying gas, stopping, getting concessions and things like that. And that sales tax, instead of it just the public safety fee would just be our citizens paying it that live here. A sales tax would be everyone who travels through here, comes here to work, and they're buying things too. So it's that quarter-cent would be more distributed out to not only our citizens but also all the visitors that come here from the surrounding municipalities around us and from out of state.
Mm-hmm. Well, lots of discussion ahead on this. I hope we'll have you again. We'll flesh it out even more. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you for having me today. Thank you.